really, really sorry. My allergies are really, really bad. It is good to see you guys. I wanted to talk about something that one of you guys, as followers, recently alerted me about Tina Turner and some of her health conditions that she had. Now, as you know, we have lost a great. May she rest in power. Tina Turner is literally one of the greatest artists, and her story is her personal story of triumph is so remarkable. Um, but I remember when I went live to talk about her death on the day that we learned that she had passed. I also learned that she had had a stroke. She suffered from kidney disease. She had high blood pressure, things like this. But I didn't know the extent and didn't understand. And in fact, it was one of you guys, as followers, one of you said, Dr. Jen, she had some issues taking her medications, or maybe she wasn't taking her medications. And I actually didn't quite know that. Hold on, let me just change. I just want to change the settings with one of my lights. Sorry. There we go. It's a little bit better for me. And I want to tell you what I have learned since looking into one of my followers. Thank you guys. You guys always update me on what actually is happening and what's going on, things that sometimes I don't even see. And it changed. It's changed a lot for me. And it's something I need to talk to you all about, because as a family doctor, I see this in the office all the time. That is Tina Turner's, what I consider a shocking health confession, but it is very, very common. First of all, guys, it's good to see you guys. Sorry for the hoarseness. It's my allergies. I'm Dr. Jen Caudle, practicing family physician. I see patients. I also do television health news and all sorts of stuff. Anyway, it's great to see you. So this is the thing. We knew and have known that Tina Turner had a stroke, had blood pressure, had kidney disease, even received a kidney transplant from her longtime partner, her husband, which is amazing. What I didn't know was the backstory behind that. And this is where, this is how important it was too, because it just sounded so familiar. I want to read to you a blog post that she wrote for a website, Show Your Kidneys Love. Of this, I just need you to hear this about it as we go along, because again, this is something I hear all the time in the office. What she starts out by saying is, my kidneys are victims of me denying the fact that my high blood pressure needed therapy with conventional medicine. She said, I put myself at great danger by refusing to accept the reality that I required daily medication for the rest of my life. I considered my body an invulnerable and indestructible bastion for way too long. And I want to start with that, because that is something that I see in the office on a daily basis. I'm literally talking to my patients about patients who I've diagnosed with high blood pressure, I've diagnosed with other conditions, and they deny, they refuse, they decline the medications that I offer. This doesn't just happen to me, but it happens all the time. And sometimes, despite my best efforts, I'm not able to convince a patient that being on daily medications is going to be the best for their health or for their life. She says she refused to accept the reality that she required daily medication for the rest of her life. It's a really tough thing, I think, sometimes to accept the fact that we need medications. I did a video on this about common reasons why patients don't want to take medications. And the reasons they range, right? Reasons we don't want to take medications, maybe a fear of side effects. Maybe the medications cost too much. Maybe there are medication side effects. Maybe we don't like the idea that we have to be on medications, right? Maybe we want to try to do things another way. There's a million reasons why people don't want to take medications, but she goes on, and I want to read this to you. She says, I've been suffering, and I didn't know this about Tina Turner. She goes, I've been suffering with high blood pressure for a long time. She got diagnosed in 1978. Guys, what is that? 78, 88, 98, 08, 18. That's what, 40 something on the way to 50 years ago, she was diagnosed. So that means she was diagnosed with high blood pressure likely in her 40s, maybe even before that. She might have even had it earlier than that. She says, I was diagnosed with high blood pressure in 1978, but I didn't care much about it. She says, I can't even remember getting an explanation about what high blood pressure means or how it affects the body. Which, let me stop there, because I'm going to read this blog post and I'm going to give my commentary, but I'm going to give it on both sides. This is not just, she should have taken her medications. That's not all that I'm saying here. She brings up a really good point. oftentimes as physicians and healthcare providers, we are not explaining things the way we should. We don't necessarily say to someone that, hey, high blood pressure, yes, we want you to take this pill, or we want you to do X, Y, or Z, or we recommend this, because high blood pressure, number one, is a leading cause of stroke. It's a leading cause of kidney disease. It's a leading cause of blah, 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 blah. And untreated high blood pressure can lead to this, and this. We also don't always explain that high blood pressure doesn't have symptoms for many, many people. I've had a lot of patients over the years. For me, like, they deny medications. They say, well, doc, I feel fine. You guys know my videos, I do daily videos on different topics. And you also know on my high blood pressure videos, I make it a point to say, yeah, most people will never feel symptoms about high blood pressure. You just won't. But that also gives many people a false sense of security. But back to the point she makes here, a lot of us doctors don't do a great job of explaining the importance and the reasoning behind. Okay. So that's absolutely true. She goes, she considered high blood pressure her normal. Hence, I didn't try to control it because I considered it my normal. She says in 1985, a doctor gave me a prescription for pills, which I was supposed to take one tablet a day, and that was it. She says, I didn't give it one more thought. I'm assuming that means she didn't take them, didn't give it a thought, like put them aside. She doesn't say that, but that's what I'm assuming she means, because she goes on to say, after suffering a stroke in 2009 because of my poorly controlled hypertension, high blood pressure, I struggled to get back up on my feet. I don't know that I knew that Tina Turner had a stroke in 2009. I don't know if you guys want to, I'm curious, comment, let me know, by the way. And by the way, for those of you who are watching this, please let me know your thoughts in the comments. Let me know also where you're watching from. Let me know if any of this resonates with you, or like I said, if this is stuff that you knew. This is all new to me, and it's why I needed to talk to you about it. And it hits really close to home for me as a family doctor, because I see this every single day. And it really it kind of blows my mind to literally see someone write it out. It's helpful for me. I'm hoping it's going to be helpful for you. Anyway, so I didn't know she had a stroke in 2009. She did. And she says she had a stroke because of poorly controlled high blood pressure. By the way, one of the leading causes of stroke is uncontrolled high blood pressure. And I will often tell my patients, especially ones that don't want to take medications, or maybe are in denial about blood pressure, or just don't understand the significance, you can feel fine for years and years and years and years and years with blood pressure. That's can be even sky high. You can have blood pressure like in the 180s, 190s, and feel fine and just be walking around doing your thing. But then you can literally have a stroke one day. And the stroke could very likely, and often is likely, the culmination of all those years of your blood pressure being uncontrolled. That is something I do warn my patients about, because it can happen. She says she had that. She says she struggled to get back up on her feet. She said, this is when I first learned that my kidneys didn't work that well anymore. So it sounds like around 2009 was when she got information about her kidneys not working very well. She said they had lost 35% of their function. I tried to learn more about the kidneys' function and meaning. She said, honestly, most people don't even know probably where their kidneys are located and what they are for until their health is at stake. So that's a really important point. Since we're talking about this, let's talk about this. By the way, again, for those of you who are just tuning in, I'm talking about Tina Turner's health struggles and talking about some of the aspects that I had no idea about and I think are shocking and really important for us all. This is a blog post that she wrote for a website, showyourkidneyslove.com. I'm Dr. Jen, family doctor. It's good to see you. Kidneys are like, they're like, they're not, I don't know that they're this big, but I'm saying there's two of them like this kidney, and then you got the ureter. The ureter travels through the body, and that's, they allow the body to make urine, goes into the bladder, we pee, urethra, et cetera, et cetera. Kidneys are kind of located in the back. Okay. Probably somewhere around this area. You got two. Not everyone has two. Some people are born with one. Some people have only one that is functioning. Some people, lots of different situations exist. The thing about the kidneys is they are literally one of the most important organs that we have. Without the kidneys, we would not be able to live. The kidneys literally, and I'm always harping on people and things that say they detox. Kidneys are truly the detoxing organ of our body. They take waste and they allow our body to filter it out. If our kidneys are not working, our body cannot get rid of toxins. When the only time I ever use the word detox is when I'm talking about our bodily organs. Our lungs help detox, our bowels help detox, our kidneys, huge for detoxing. You want to really know what gets rid of toxins? One of the organs is your kidney. It's not the shake you're drinking, it's not the supplement you're taking, it's your kidneys, which is why when your kidneys start to fail, it is such an important thing, because we cannot live without functioning kidneys, because we cannot live with toxins in our body. Okay. And they are not gotten rid of by detoxes or supplements or things like that on the market. Let me tell you, if they were, perhaps a lot of people wouldn't be on dialysis. Think about it like that. Okay. If we had something that really, really detoxed you, then why do people need dialysis then? Why do people need other, I'm not going to go down that rabbit hole, but let me just suffice to say, go back to what the kidneys do. The kidneys are affected by a number of different things. One of the things kidneys are affected by is high blood pressure. If your blood pressure is not controlled, it is very likely that your kidneys will experience some damage. That's not the only thing that kidneys get damaged from. They get damaged from uncontrolled diabetes. They get damaged from certain medications. They get damaged from, dehydration. They get damaged from a number of things. Okay, it's not the only thing, but this is the reason, one of the reasons why this conversation is so important. And I'm also saying, because I sometimes find myself pleading with my patients, before you just write off and say, I don't want that medicine, I don't want this, I need you to stop and think. Because what it sounds like, as Tina Turner is writing here, it sounds like she stopped and thought a little bit too late. And I'm going to tell you what she says that even is more shocking in my opinion. Again, these are her words. And I was trying to figure out how to describe this to you. And I was like, you know what? I'm just going to read the post. So let's keep going. She goes, this was after her stroke. She says, I continue to be on prescriptions for controlling my high blood pressure. She said, but I was convinced that they made me feel even worse. With time, I developed a fatal dislike of pills. She said, I remember relishing life before I started taking the pills, and I wish I could be as clear-headed and energetic as I used to be. When a friend suggested a different approach and recommended a homeopathic doctor in France, I didn't hesitate, she says. She says, he replaced my conventional medication with homeopathic medicine, and I was told to always drink, drink, drink. She doesn't say drink what. I'm guessing maybe water. I don't know. Fluids. I'm not sure. And then she goes, indeed, I started feeling better after a while. So let's stop right there. These are really important points, because you know what? Medications can often and sometimes make us feel crappy. Yeah. And I just did this video, guys. I know you guys are watching this on Facebook, on TikTok, on YouTube, by the way. Check out some of my videos. By the way, if you've not subscribed to my YouTube channel or not followed me on, subscribe to my TikTok or follow me on Facebook, please, like and follow, please subscribe, please, and thank you guys for all the stars that you're sending, all the super chats, super stickers, all the little gadgets on TikTok. I really appreciate you. But this is the thing, guys. I've done some videos in particular recently about how medications can affect our body. I just did a video on medications that can cause weight gain. I also did a video on, medications that can actually cause high blood pressure. No one is saying that medications don't have potential side effects. And yes, there are many medications that can make you feel like crap. Some medications make you feel sluggish. Some medications make you gain weight. Some medications might make you nauseous. Some medications might change your appetite. Some medications might make you lose weight. Some medications might make you gain weight. Oh, yeah. I'm not saying this does not happen. She's right. I believe her completely when she says that she said she was convinced that her pills made her feel even worse. I ain't trying to fight that. As a family doctor, I know that there are potential side effects to anything we take. That's anything we take, whether it's over the counter or prescription or anything. Yes, she is absolutely right. What we do, though, and what I implore you to do if this is you, because so let me just give you some examples. For me, fluoroquinoline antibiotics like Cipro, Levaquin, things like that, they give me these crazy dreams where I feel like I am like scary, nightmarish. Like I wake up and I'm like, I don't want to go to sleep. I'm afraid, those dreams where you're like, I'm afraid to go back to sleep. And I have to remember that. And I try to not take those when I'm sick. Sulfa drugs. I have an allergy to sulfa. I get what's called a fixed drug reaction. It's a very specific type of rash. It's a dermatological condition that took a while for me to figure out what it was. I was a resident and I got these spots. I got one like right here. I got one literally right here. And I got one like on my leg and somewhere else. And they got inflamed and they burned. And I had to go to a dermatologist to get diagnosed and realize it's sulfa drugs. Okay. Antibiotics make me nauseous, by the way. It's the most common side effect of antibiotics. Okay. So my point being is, yeah. Okay. This happens. But when this happens to you, and it's not uncommon, what you do is you should talk to your doctor about, hey, doc, I feel crappy on this. I feel like this. I don't like this. Is there something else we can do? And you know what? Most times there actually is something else we can do. Okay. I'm telling you this right now because one of you listening right now, and I feel so passionate about this because I'm telling you, I read this and I was like, this is literally the conversations I have almost on a daily basis with my patients. So we're going to go through this right now. We in an office visit right now. Okay. So when you have this, or for those of you watching right now that have side effects, and you maybe have been taking your meds here and there because you don't like the way they make you feel, or taking your statin every other day or only a couple times a week because you get muscle cramps, or you've been changing what your doctor gave you because of how you feel, what I need you to do is to go into your doctor and say, this is what I've been doing. It's because it makes me feel this way. What can we do about this? That's what you do. Okay. So she goes. She didn't like the way she felt on her medications. She got a different approach recommendation, was recommended to see a homeopathic doctor in France. She said she didn't hesitate to go see this doctor. He replaced her conventional medication, which I'm assuming is like traditional Western medicine, prescription pills and stuff like that. And I should say Western, like Eastern, like people all over the world use, prescriptions and antibiotics and stuff like that. But the doctor replaced her homeopathic medicine with, replaced her conventional medicine with homeopathic medicine. Okay. She said she started feeling better after a while, which is wonderful. Next, what she says though, I had not told my doctors about my experiment, and when my next routine checkup was due, I was excited to see if the homeopathic medication had decreased my blood pressure and improved my kidney function. She said, rarely in my life had I been so wrong. I had not known that uncontrolled hypertension would worsen my kidney disease and that I would kill my kidneys by giving up on controlling my blood pressure. She says, I never would have replaced my medication with the homeopathic medicines if I had had an idea about how much was at stake for me. Thanks to me being naive, I ended up at the point where it was life or death. I have never heard such an honest and transparent account of something like this. And I have patients and have had patients over the years that have, by their inactions or actions, cause kidney disease. I have patients I can think of over the 15 plus years I've been in practice that did not take medications. And as a result, they ended up on dialysis because they did not take their medications. They refused, they denied. Some patients I literally almost got into arguments with. My thing is this, it's not that I like to argue with patients and that's not my style, but my feeling is if you're going to make a choice that's going to irrevocably and irreversibly change your life and damage your health, which is my sole responsibility to you, it's my job to make sure that when you leave me, you fully understand the risks of the decisions and the actions that you're taking. We all have autonomy. You can make whatever decision you want and whatever is right for you. We are free people, right? And no one is arguing with that. But as I've always said, and in the videos I do, especially about supplements and things like that, before you go deciding for yourself what you're going to do, make sure you understand the potential risks and benefits of those actions. Before you decide not to take a medication or to take a medication, understand the potential risks and benefits of those actions. That's all. And so, yeah, I've had some office visits with people that were really, really tough. But I couldn't let them leave without them being, without a doubt, certain and clear about where I stood, about the decision they were making, and me letting them know how it could affect their health. Now, in those situations, I have a couple patients that went along with what they wanted to do. And they have admitted since that their actions or inactions caused them to end up on dialysis. But this is the thing. Again, Everyone has choice. Just understand what choice can mean. And what I think is really transparent here is she says, I had not known that uncontrolled hypertension would worsen my renal disease and would kill her kidneys. That I don't fault her for. That's not her job to know. That's our job as the medical community to explain these things. So this brings me to another point. If your doctor is putting you on cholesterol medication or asthma medication or high blood pressure medication, and they don't explain why it's important, first of all, shame on us, because that's what our job is. But if they don't, you absolutely have permission and the right to say to them, hey, I don't know that I want to take this. Why is it that you're recommending that I take something? Why do I have to take something? Why do I have to take this? What could happen if I don't? So that you know. And, I don't know what doctors were seeing her throughout. And it's, again, this is not meant to speak in any way of someone who has passed on. I am so grateful for Tina Turner for leaving this. Literally, this is from showyourkidneyslove.com. She wrote this blog post. These are her words. And I felt like it was okay to read this because these are exactly her words. And I've often said that people who are celebrities often give us, the rest of us, the gift of knowledge by sharing their personal stories because they're human too. We have the same stories they do. We're just blessed to maybe learn because they share. And I appreciate her for doing this. My point being, though, is if your doctor doesn't tell you why something is important, you need to push them to tell you and to explain so that you understand. Then you can make an informed decision about what you want to do, whether you want to take the thing or not take the thing. Okay, moving on. Let me just recap that, though. She says, I never would have replaced my medications with the homeopathic alternatives if I had an idea of how much was at stake for me. Thanks to me being naive, I ended up at the point where it was life or death. She goes on at first, and we're almost done, okay, for those of you who are watching, and thank you for being patient. This was just on my heart, and I couldn't figure out a better way to do this. Doing a video was not the right thing. My mom is calling. I'm going to have to call her back. Doing a simple video was not the right thing. I just needed to talk through this because I kept reading through this morning. I'm like, oh my God, this is like mind-blowing. She goes, at first, I may not have noticed any signs of sickness, but some of the symptoms that I blamed on the medication, she says, like my fatigue, nausea, irritability, were really signs of my kidney disease in its final stage. How could it occur to me to make treatment decisions all by myself? She wrote that. If I had any idea about the risk I was taking, I would have never have taken any chance on alternative medicine. The doctors made it very clear that the consequences of my decision were irreversible. My kidney function had reached an all-time low. And in order to survive, I had to start dialysis. I didn't know that Tina Turner was on dialysis at a certain point. I don't know if you guys knew that. Let me know. Let me know if you guys knew that. Again, I think it was many of you who informed me about this story, and I appreciate that. I'm not bashing homeopathic remedies. I personally think that we don't have enough studies about natural and homeopathic remedies. We don't. We need more. We need more data. And I have a video on this that I'm going to be posting soon. DM me if you want this video. But a lot of the comments that you guys write me, you write this on my CMOS videos or my turmeric videos or my biotin or all the other videos. And I know you get frustrated and you say, well, Dr. Jen, you keep saying talk to your doctor, but doctors don't know anything about natural remedies. You're not entirely wrong about that. We don't know a lot because there's not a lot of studies. And then a lot of people also say, well, you know what? Why don't doctors prescribe? Okay, and then separately, people will say, why do doctors keep pushing meds? Why is it that doctors only want to push meds? All they want to do is just give you a pill, give you a pill, give you a pill. Why not something natural? Okay. So let me just tell you just a little bit, and the rest of my argument is in the video. If you want this video, let me know. But first of all, as doctors, our job is to keep you safe and alive and healthy. That is our number one job. We live for that. That is, many of us physicians feel like it's our sole purpose on this earth. Our jobs are not jobs. It's a calling. And so what we do, for many of us, not everyone, I can't speak for everyone, but what we do and what we've been taught to do is to make decisions for patients that have the best data, that has the best information. that has the best knowledge. In other words, our training tells us the decisions you should make for patients should be the ones that we can guarantee as best as we can, that are the safest, that are the best for the patient. And because one of the reasons, because we don't have a lot of data about supplements and things like that, it's oftentimes not the thing we recommend, because we have more data and knowledge about pharmaceuticals. And in many cases where we do have data, the pharmaceuticals are actually better for the person, keep them safer, keep them healthier, allow their kidneys to live longer, et cetera, et cetera. Now, this is not 100%, but if you want to know why we do what we do, it's because it's kind of like, well, don't you want your doctor to give you the best thing that we have, no matter what it is? It shouldn't be about natural versus conventional. Natural isn't always safe, and neither is conventional. Medications have side effects, but so can natural things. Shouldn't it be about what's best for the person and will keep you healthy? We tend to put priority on natural things, assuming that they are safer, that they are better, but that's not the case always. Just like medications are not always safer and better. Shouldn't it be that you want the thing that's going to work? And oftentimes, because we don't have a lot of data about natural supplements and things like that, and sometimes the data we have about supplements is inferior to medications, that's why we often choose medications. Let me know what you think about that, because these are questions you guys ask me a lot, and I know it frustrates you. Anyway, she goes, I had to start dialysis. It was my only option, but it was depressing to be connected to a machine for hours. Dialysis is tough, y'all. It makes you exhausted. My patients who go to dialysis, they're usually wiped out for the rest of the day. Usually people go to dialysis often 3 times a week, where they sit connected to a machine. The machine literally filters their blood for them, removes the toxins, because their own kidneys are not working to do this. So they have to go to a machine to remove their toxins. And you see how sometimes this can be ironic, where in a situation where she was looking for something natural, an alternative to fix her kidneys, she ended up having to rely on a machine to keep her alive when that didn't work. All I'm saying is that there's just multiple sides to every story all the time. Your job as patients is to understand the different sides. That's it. And our job as doctors is to explain the risks and benefits of those different sides so you can make the right decision for you. But yes, dialysis, people are exhausted. Usually many of my patients who are on dialysis, they're wiped out. They lose a day. They go to dialysis, they're exhausted. They come home, they take naps. Sometimes they can do some things. But if you can imagine traveling when you're on dialysis, it's sometimes nearly impossible, right? Because they have to go 3 times a week. Sometimes there are people who are able to go to remote dialysis centers if they're visiting someplace. There's always some needs that will need to be arranged. It's not easy to travel. It changes your whole life. And all of a sudden, one can go from being someone who is going here and there and doing whatever they please to being hooked up potentially to a machine 3 times a week in order to stay alive, because they need something to filter their blood, the toxins out of their blood. She goes, for the next 9 months, all my life was about dialysis. I realized the struggle for healing is always also a struggle for accurate information. For example, I had not been aware that chronic kidney failure is called silent killer because symptoms do not become noticeable until 80% of the kidney tissue is lost. As it happened to me, hypertension is one of the most frequent causes of kidney failure. I was lucky that my partner offered to donate one of his kidneys to me. It was the first step to kidney transplantation, a very complex process and procedure. Yeah, a lot of people won't even feel when their kidneys are failing. I'm not saying that I wish we experienced side effects when we had high blood pressure that was too high and kidney disease in the early stages. But I do wonder that I just sometimes wonder that if my patients felt symptoms of some of the silent diseases that we can have, I wonder if some of my patients would respond differently to treatments and medications that I know would extend their life, would help their kidneys. I don't know the answer to that. But what's important for you to know is that kidney disease oftentimes is silent until most of the kidneys are gone. So don't rely on feeling bad to assume you're fine. I often hear patients say to me, Doc, I feel fine. It's confusing. I know. I know. I have patients sitting in front of me with blood pressure 200 over 120, and they feel fine. you can feel just fine. And I understand how that's a deterrent to like do something about it when you feel fine. Same thing with the kidneys. So just know that. Know that you don't have to feel bad for things to not be going on so well on the inside. Okay. We're almost done. Okay. I know I'm a little bit like going on and on about this, but this is Tina Turner's words again from her blog the blog post she wrote for showyourkidneyslove.com. Okay. She said 2 months after the transplant, it was a never ending up and down. From time to time, my body tried to reject the donor kidney, as it frequently happens after transplantation. Guys, that's really tough. Oftentimes after transplants, people are on immunosuppressant medications. It makes you have a weakened immune system to be on the medications. The medications keep your body from rejecting the foreign thing that's now in your body. Okay. She said, ever so often I was hospitalized. I was nauseous, dizzy. I forgot things. I was scared. She says, I was on multiple prescriptions and take great care to follow my doctor's orders meticulously. She ends this blog post with a couple of sentences for, I know that I can trust them and their therapies. I trust in my therapy. I just wanted to, to read that post. That is that's the whole post. And, I didn't see this. This post was written again, I think in like March. Was it March or it was before she passed, clearly. And she was advocating for kidney health. And she shared a lot. I mean, how vulnerable was she to share all of this? It's hard for anyone and for any of us to admit when maybe the decisions we made, we feel now that they could have been different or maybe should have been different, or we wish they were different. I give her a lot of credit. But what I always say is that what we can do from these situations is we can learn. You can still make whatever decisions are right for you, but just make sure you know and that you're open to the possibilities that sometimes things may not go as we plan. They don't always go as we plan when we prescribe traditional medicines. Okay? That's sort of life. But once again, as a physician, my job is to try to give you the best thing that will help you, no matter what it is. Some cases, it is supplements. People with B12 deficiency need a B12 supplement. People with vitamin D deficiency need a vitamin D supplement. People with osteoporosis and osteopenia need calcium with vitamin D. People who might be vegan or have had bariatric surgery or other conditions and limited diets may need multivitamins. So I know that was a lot. But the take-home messages are these. First of all, Tina Turner, thank you for everything you've given this world. Like, you've given so much through your story, through your pain, your heartaches, your struggles, your triumphs. You've really given us a lot. You've given us inspiration, regardless of whether we are struggle or have been victims of domestic violence. You've inspired all of us. And then to talk about your health in such a frank way, to say that you wish you had not made some of the medical choices you had made, to say how you felt, you just accepted your high blood pressure, that the medicines made you feel worse and you stopped them, that you didn't tell your doctor that you had stopped them, that you were shocked to find out that things like kidney disease and high blood pressure don't have to have symptoms, and how dire it can be. It's pretty vulnerable. It's not easy to say. So what I feel is, as a physician, I felt it was one of my responsibilities to share this. This is not my story. This is her story. But I know we all know people who may have had aspects of this story as part of their own. And it might be you. There might be some part of this that resonates with you. And if it does, maybe there's something you can glean from it. This is the thing. You're in the driver's seat. This is your life. It's your health. It's your choice. But you do want to make the right choices, whatever they are. And regardless of what choices you choose, make sure you know the potential consequences of those choices, because only then can you really choose. In my opinion, Tina Turner thought she was choosing homeopathic medicine, But because she didn't actually fully understand the potential risks versus benefits, in my opinion, she wasn't fully choosing. She wasn't in control of her choice. You want to be in control of your choice. And one of the ways you do that is you understand what could potentially happen if you do XYZ or not. Then you can sit down and say, you know what, I am going to do this option, or I'm not going to do this. Only then. So choose what you want for yourself and your family, but make sure you understand the potential consequences of those choices before you make them. Don't let it be after the fact. Let me know in the comments if you guys have stories like this, if any of this resonates with you, if you have family members or friends. I'm sorry I've gone on so long. It's a little bit of a soapbox, but it only is because I see this so often in the office, and I've literally sometimes watched patients have strokes, not literally in front of me, but I've been in practice long enough now to see people over 15 years, 10 years, and to see how, certain things end up. And it breaks my heart. It also breaks my heart, let me just be very fair, that as physicians and medical providers, that we don't always do exactly what we're supposed to be doing in terms of explaining things. Let's call a spade a spade. Okay, we're going to look at one side, let's look at the other. Doctors, we're probably not explaining things the way we need to all the time. We may not be asking the patient questions like, how do you feel about this? You stopped your medicine, tell me why. Do you have any concerns? Like, what are you afraid of? Or was the medicine too expensive? We probably don't spend enough time trying to understand how you feel and thus being able to address your concerns. So this goes both ways. I'm not taking any of that away. But please, for you, for your families, for your loved ones, please, please, please understand the risks and the benefits. You guys are amazing. TikTokers, thank you so much for sending all the stickers and the hearts, and thank you for all the follows. I see you guys. You're amazing. I want to respond to your comments after this. YouTube, I see you as well. There's a lot of you on. So great to see you guys. Subscribe to my channel if you haven't. I have videos on all this stuff all the time. Bit of a soapbox, as you can see. But it's because I care and I see too many people who it affects. And I guess it also matters a lot to me, if I'm being very honest with you. I'm an African-American woman. African Americans, kidney disease, strokes, high blood pressure, diabetes, it affects us disproportionately than any other group. Heart disease. And it's not that all of these things are the same, but they are connected. And so, yeah, do I care a lot? Do I sometimes get like super passionate and super like, rawr? I do. Because I know how these things can really play out. So, and on Facebook, hello. Thank you for sending stars. Also, sign up for my free health newsletter. I have a free health newsletter, by the way. I think I'm going to send out a new issue this weekend, by the way, just on a couple of topics. So you can go to my website, drjencaudle.com. Also, I have a subscription service where you can get daily health tips in your news box every day. Tips like how to keep your kidneys healthy. In fact, the daily health tip that just went out today, for those of you who are subscribers, it actually was about, no, it was yesterday. The tip was actually about the stages of chronic kidney disease. And I was also gave a little tip on how you can find out what stage of kidney disease you are in. So you get tips like that, fun facts, little, just easy to digest health tips every day, 5 days a week in your inbox. That is called Dr. Jen's Daily Health Tips. You can subscribe on my website, drjencaudle.com. Anyway, thank you guys. I love you. Thank you for listening. This is my love letter to you. And through Miss Tina Turner, thank you, Miss Tina, for everything you've given us. So, yeah. All right, guys. I love y'all. Bye.